And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You got the Pokemon Professor here, and today I'm bringing you my draft analysis for the ICP, the Insanely Competitive Pokemon League. This is a Pokemon draft league, and if you aren't familiar, just saying fantasy baseball, fantasy football, right? Myself and a handful of 13 other coaches for this season have gone snake draft, and we've taken turns just drafting all the Pokemon available to us, and with some exceptions, right? Some of our more broken Mons aren't available, but majority, all the Mons are available to us. We go snake draft, each picking one Pokemon at a turn, and then each week you play a predetermined opponent and you try to win, whether that be on counter teaming, capitalizing on your strengths, any means necessary, right? Any means necessary. So shout outs to the homies. We got King, Matt, Josh, Jarl, AP, Pup, Mr. MTJP, Tom, Amber, Zachmander, Arch, IMD Story, and Stall. Big shout outs to these guys for playing this season, and go show them some love, right? All of their descriptions are down below, all of their links are in the description below, so make sure to check them out, drop a sub, yada yada. And going into this, like I said, 14 coaches. I know it may have been a minute since you've seen anything on the channel, but I've actually torn my ACL. I'll try to show like a screenshot of it now. I messed it up, man. I'm getting old. I'm 30. I think it hurt my pride more than like the actual thing hurt. Don't get me wrong, the torn ACL kind of sucks. But it definitely hurt my pride. It showed me that I am getting older. I have surgery coming up, and I know that the last time I played in ICP, I cut myself with a chainsaw, and this time I tore my ACL, and so hopefully ICP Season 4, Yahor, is as I named it on the doc, is not as bad to me, because Jesus Christ, we have had the chainsaw, the wife and I having a baby, and then the whole seizure stuff with her, and then the ACL tearing. Your boy just wants to catch a break. I don't feel like that's too hard to ask. But we're going to make the most out of it. We're going to make the most out of it because we are the Chocolate Starfish this season, right? Little Fred Durst action, little Limp Biscuit. God, if you don't know Chocolate Starfish and the hot dog flavored water, you're probably too young to be my friend. Truth be told, I'd feel weird hanging out with you because this thing is a staple. I'm a 90s baby through and through, and you can't tell me break stuff doesn't make you just want to catch a charge, man. Maybe hopefully a misdemeanor, but a charge. Dude, I want to just a little public deterioration. I don't even know if that would be considered a thing, right? I could handle, not necessarily domestic violence, but some kind of like somebody cut me in line and I'd had a bad day. Maybe I'd tried to get off the smokes for a bit, or like the pouches, and it just wasn't, my ACL was in better shape, and I felt like I could pivot and throw a punch. I'd be blaring some fucking break stuff, man. I actually got a hemorrhoid the last time. I've seen Limp Bizkit twice, both times at Louder Than Life in Louisville, and I got a hemorrhoid because I was a little under the influence, right? I mean, I'm no better. I am man. I know to admit my faults. And I was just in there, in the mosh pit. I technically don't know if my hemorrhoid occurred in the Limp Bizkit thing, or if it was like Miss May I, or some of the other like heavier bands that I was just in the pit and I was overexerting and keeping my core and abdomen really tight, which I guess also would mean my asshole. But yeah, anyway, the Chocolate Starfish. So going into this 14 coaches, we are pick number 12. I pick up essentially the best thing that was there, and that's Jeremiah the Bullfrog, right? Greninja. Jeremiah was a bullfrog, and Greninja, I dare to say, is a bullfrog. I'd worked a lot with Zazo during the draft jam prior to the ACL tear, and I just kind of hearing other people's viewpoints about the way team composition looks in their head, the way that they draft, the way, like just certain key elements, right? And I think Greninja is going to be able to kind of check all those boxes. I used it in an Ubers league with Aaron, and I really liked it. I think it was on my sand team with like an Excadrill T-Tar, and it was just so good. It's get spikes, it could be physical, it's get T-spikes, it could be special, could be cleaner, could be breaker, could just be momentum, right? Coming in, trying to pick up a kill, force switches, things like that. So really like Jeremiah and excited to use it again. So pick number 12, I get the wheel really quickly, and Ogerpon Wellsprings get picked right before me. I know certain mons just simply won't make it back, so I have to go ahead and pick one. And I go ahead and snag Bishop Gun, Ogerpon Cornerstone. Bishop Gun, Theo Von, Shine, that's that song in the intro. And he says, I must be Cornerstone. Wow. That's a guitar. Love Theo Von this past weekend. And anyway, Ogerpon Cornerstone. I knew it wasn't going to make its way back to me. Good speed tier 110. Again, more spikes. Gives me hazard removal and knockoff. Ivy Cudgel being rock. Base 100 high crit. Always lands, so it's not like Stone Edge. Just a crazy spammable move. And it felt like the best pick for me on my way there. Going into round 2, I guess I should say, on my way there. Right now my team does look quite a bit like Keegan's Draft Jam. So, you know, the what do they say? Mimicry is the greatest form of flattery. So shout out to him. His team was the team. It worked out really well. But I do want to put my own little flair on it. So round number 3, I go ahead and pick up The Undertaker, right? Cyclozar. Because The Undertaker in WWF rode out on his chopper to Rollin' Limp Bizkit, okay? It was just too perfect of a name. Outside of that, I thought it was too perfect of a mod. It gives me another good speed tier, 121, whereas Jeremiah is, or rather Greninja's 122. So they are pretty parallel, but it just gives me another high speed tier mod. Outside of that, Regenerator as an ability is just so broken. It's able to sponge hits and come in, come out. It's got setup in shift gear to get crazy fast. It's got good like physical coverage with the Ice Spinner and the Supercell and the Power Whip and the Temper Flare, right? All those little colorful things on their moves. And it could be special as well. So I really like Cyclozar. Great hazard control. It gives me momentum in case they go into the ghost that wants to block it. It still has knockoff, things like that. So I can punish any kind of ghost type that wants to come in and prevent the spin. So after that, I want to go ahead and pick up my first Terra Captain. We were given 20 points, and you could use them throughout 2 Terra Captains, right? Each priced individually at their own level. So I go ahead and pick up Tron, Iron Crown. This mon is one that I've never used. We know Pokemon Champions is somewhat in the future. There's a speculation for it to be dropped during Pokemon Day, and then others not. So basically I asked all the coaches if they wanted to go ahead and run it or if we wanted to wait, and they said run it. So run it we shall. And I felt like Iron Crown was a mon that I'd always wanted to use once I'd seen its release. I love the booster energy mons, especially with them being Terra Captain. So I think Iron Crown Tron is just going to be an awesome Pokemon to bring this I can't say this generation, this season. It has been an awesome one to bring this generation. So next pick, I've got a lot of physical presence. I've got a little bit of defense with my Iron Crown and Cyclozar, both great AV mons and both just being able to sponge hits. But I also knew I wanted something with some Wish Pass support. I wanted a fairy type, so I go ahead and snag Sylveon. Before this, I wanted, honestly, Hatterene is what I was going to get, but the homie Jarl said he was going to get Hatterene next. And I woke up, I saw the messages, and I just sort of felt like a piece of shit had I taken Hatterene there. I don't think Jarl would have held it against me, but, you know, at the end of the day, what do they say? Don't do shit that, if God's watching or something. I don't. God's always watching, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. But don't do shit that maybe your grandma, you wouldn't want your grandma to see or something. And I just would feel bad if my Mamie would have been like, oh, but excuse me, but Professor, almost dropped my government name there. He told you this before. That's not very nice. And I would have felt really bad lying to my Mamie or just telling her to blow off. So I pick up waifu, my Sylveon. Crazy Spidef Mon, right? Good HP, good bulk Mon. This is a great Spidef wall. It's got things like Wish, Moonblast, Hyper Voice, the Pixelate Quick Attack. It's just such a great Mon. And it also gets, I believe... Oh, no. I shall keep that for a different day. But it's got some fun moves. It fit the team composition. It didn't force Iron Crown to stay in its steel typing for me to have a dragon switch in. So I just felt like it was really necessary to snag a fairy type. So working my way back, I really like it. I think I've got good cleaners on the team. I think I've got some good momentum, realistically, and momentum and everything on my team, whether that be baton pass, volt switch, U-turn, things like that. So I knew I wanted a just immediate breaker. And with that, I go ahead and pick up Iron Hands. Iron Hands is a great breaker. And in fact, sorry, I was stalling. I was trying to figure out what I named it. Oh, Beef Brisket is what I named it. Iron Hands is a great breaker, right? Coming in and just bopping off that, 140 attack stat, getting the possibility of booster energy, bumping that up, plus the 1.5 if I'm especially running the Adamant Nature or something like that. This thing it forces progress. It can hit stuff with the CC, the Earthquakes, the Drain Punch even, to just make it a pain in the ass. It's got my Ice Punch Elemental. I can SD. I can do whatever. This thing is a monster. It's great AV Mon if I want to run something like the Volt Switch set, right? Keeping up that momentum. But I love it as a breaker. I think that Beef Brisket is just a Beef Brisket, dude. Thing comes in and just handles business. So... continue all the way around the draft. Certain types I still need, right? One of those is a dark type. So I ended up picking up Sableye. Sableye is going to be called the Rescuers this season. Okay, because those eyes, the Rescuers, that's that like whole mouse cartoon from like the 90s. Okay, the mice are trying to save the girl with the skull and the diamonds in the eyes and whatever. And Sableye is the dark type. So that's why I picked it. Outside of that, I think Prankster as an ability is really good. Being able to throw off T-Waves, Encore, a lot of stuff is going to be really awesome. Gives me knockoff, gives me screens, gives me taunt, Willow, just all the Sableye nonsense. So really excited to use Sableye, hoping I can, run it in certain situations to get that T-Wave off, and then Greninja just outruns everything, including Scarfers, and just, there's game, right? And being able to go for a Wisp, and then Iron Crown can live the hit and set up and win, or Speed Control to where Iron Hands or Encore and get Iron Hands in and set up. I just felt like it was a great enabler for a lot of my team, so really excited to use it this season. Coming back off the wheel, I go ahead and snag up Mothra, right? The Volcarona, again, looking like Keegan's team out here. I've got the Grin, the Cornerstone, Iron Hands, Volcarona. Yeah, I mean that in the best way to Keegan. Dude had a killer team. There are some changes, like I said, but I really liked the way that team worked. I hated building against it. I think I, truth be told, just got lucky on my first win against him because I knew he was an aggressive player and he was going to click the U-turn turn one, and I was able to use that to my advantage. But then the second time we played in the playoffs, there was just nothing I could do because he made the minor adjustments that allowed him to just run away with the game. So Volcarona, right? Killer Mon gives me the Quiver Dance. It gives me U-turn, keeping up with that momentum kind of thing. Fiery Dance, even if I don't want to click the QD and just waste a turn setting up, maybe I need to, again, force progress by getting a little bit of damage off. If I get that +1 from the Fiery Dance, even if I'm not running a whole lot of special attack investment, I have a 135 special attack. So truth be told, this thing is gonna get some significant chip damage off, even if I can just click Fiery Dance and then I get the +1 the following turn. It's got a plethora of solid coverage moves: Psychic, Hurricane, Heat Wave, Flamethrower, obviously the fire stuff, and then just another couple little oddities that really help. I don't have a fire type, which I think are really nice in draft from an offensive perspective, and then bug type isn't the worst of things. I mean, granted, stealth rocks aren't the best of friends, but thank God heavy duty boots are a thing. So really excited to use Mothra. So coming back off the wheel, Again, I'm looking at types that I don't have. I've got my dark type. I know I need a poison and I know I need a ground. And then I also have 7 points left for my Terra budget because Iron Crown was 13. So I'll go ahead and snag up Rhyperior. Terra Rhyperior as well. I got bought by Terra Rhyperior from IMD Story, and I would love to do the same. I'd love to do the same and bot people with it, right? Old China Shop is its name because it's a bull in the China Shop. 140 attack, 130 defense. This thing on the physical side is just a nuisance. It's so hard to deal with. If I can change its typing into something like a Terra Water with the Lightning Rod, right, getting that immunity, that could be massive. Even Terra Flying, right, getting rid of electric type. Granted, I have to worry about switching back into rocks and yada yada. Outside of that, Solid Rock is a killer ability, receives 3/4 damage from super effective attacks. So I just think that Bull in the China Shop is going to be a monster to deal with. EQs are so hard to handle. Edgequake coverage in itself, right? It's called Edgequake coverage for a reason. And then throw in a Terra type with good, not only nature, the neutrality typing, I guess I could say, or an offensive or a defensive one, but being able to provide good coverage as well. I love Rhyperior. I think it's going to be so fun to use. So 2 more rounds left in the draft. I go ahead and pick up Wheezing, or as I'm calling him, Big City Greens over here. Little Joey Diaz. Joey Diaz talks the way I imagine Wheezing would if it could talk. So I got Big City Greens in here. Gives me my poison type, right? Granted, am levitating a lot of the time, so I may not absorb those T-spikes. But outside of that, neutralizing gas is a good ability. Being able to absorb T-spikes, throw off toxics, pain split, just be a big pain in the ass. I watched a lot of Cybertron, or not Cybertron, the Piplup in Draft League guy. I'm blanking on his name. Not Aaron Cybertron Zine, but James Beak. And I watched him use Wheezing like very offensively in certain aspects. And I understand VGC is way different, level 50 versus level 100 and yada yada. But I think that Wheezing has a lot more to offer than just this defensive, come in, take a hit, try to throw off a Toxic or a Will-O-Wisp. So pretty excited to use Big City Greens, honestly. And then my last pick is Van Gogh, right? I got all Smeargle. I had a couple points left. I didn't want him to go to waste, and I thought, what mine is worth the 4 points that I have left? And I think Van Gogh is it. Talk about a dedicated lead, right? I got Spore, I got Ceaseless Edge, I got Stone Axe. Throw a Focus Sash on this thing, and it's just a big pain in the ass to deal with, especially if I can get a Spore off or something. Now granted, my opponent can run something like Safety Goggles, but then that just forces them to run something. So I think Van Gogh can put in a lot of work this season, especially if you see it. I think personally, I'm going to think, oh, that's its dedicated lead. And if I don't lead with that and catch my opponent off guard, put them on the back foot, turn 1, that may be the difference in the game with some of these threats, right? So really like Smeargle. I'm not for sure how often it's going to come, but I do definitely want to bring it a couple times just to see what it's like. I've never used Smeargle, and I picked Van Gogh because I have a red beard, and Van Gogh does too, so... Alright, well that'll be it for your Chocolate Starfish for the ICP Season 4. If you like to giggle as much as me, you know, top 3-4 favorite things in the world, drop a sub, follow along our journey. Games will be going up on Saturdays, and check out all the other coaches down in the description below. Show them some love. And with that, I will catch you for week 1 next Saturday against Jarl and his Hamilton Toracats. So, I love ya. Bye.